Hey, Pikmin. If you are subscribed to this channel, which is something I highly recommend doing because it makes us best friends, touch that button. You would have seen already today that I put out a video all about the new Nintendo 2DS XL. Nintendo sent me this and Hey Pikmin today, and I've already reviewed this and talked about whether I thought it was worth picking up over all the 2DS and 3DS counterparts that have already come out over the years. And if you want to see that video, there'll be a link in the description, at the end of the video, and on the channel, which again you would see if you hit that subscribe button. But putting this aside for now, because I already did that, we're gonna take a look at Hey Pikmin today. Now this is something that confused me. I'm not allowed to review this game until the game comes out, but I can preview the game. So essentially I can talk about it, tell you about it, point some things out that I discovered, that I've realized that I like about the game, and show you some gameplay, but I can't give you an official score or review it. Make sense? I'm confused. But I'm pretty sure what I'm gonna do today is in the rules and guidelines of what I'm supposed to do, so let's hope so Nintendo doesn't sue me and take my channel down. That would be a horrible birthday present. As I said, I got this game yesterday and I spent all last night playing it, getting up to the point where Nintendo said I couldn't talk about anything after that point, so I am at that point and I'm ready to talk about the game. So without further ado, let's get started. I almost got up to leave for some reason. I was actually really excited to be sent this game because I'm a huge Nintendo fan in general and being sent anything would be cool, but I actually love Pikmin. I love Pikmin a lot. The second Pikmin and the third Pikmin are my favorites, and honestly, I'm a Wii U guy and Pikmin 3 might be my all-time favorite Pikmin. Let's say Pikmin one more time. Hey, Pikmin. But this isn't your usual Pikmin game. It's a 2D side-scrolling Pikmin game, which initially I thought that could be fun. It's not really what I want from Pikmin. There's already so many 2D side-scrolling games out there, especially by Nintendo, but let's see what this game brings to the 2D side-scroller genre that's a little different. Now, I don't have a way of recording 2DS and 3DS systems, so I'm gonna steal some from a bunch of people and improvise during this video. So you're gonna see a lot of gameplay that I stole, but credit where credit is due, I'll let you know where it came from. Now let's start with the story. Now in my opinion, Pikmin's never really been about the story, it's been about the gameplay and visuals. It's sort of a micromanaging type game. Not this one, kind of, but it's a side scroller, the other ones. So the story here is really basic, we can cover it pretty quick. Captain Olimar crashes on an unknown planet, meets Pikmin, and sets out on a journey to solve environmental puzzles and collect Sparklium to refuel his ship, the SS Dolphin 2. Now for those that don't know, his ship's named after the GameCube, which its initial development name was Dolphin, or the Dolphin, or Dolphin something. Dolphin. But it's named after the GameCube. That's just a cool little factoid that I like. So the story is super typical. You're playing again as Captain Olimar and you crash land on this mysterious planet and you need to use the Pikmin to your advantage to go around and save yourself. Save your ass and get back up there. It's the same, it's always the same. It's just fine, it gets the job done. What's my opinion on it? I don't want to say because it's a preview, not a review. I'm not sure if I can. So let's talk about the gameplay in this game. If you've ever played a Pikmin game, if you've played any of the Pikmin games in the first trilogy, and I said to you, hey, so you know those games? Well, side scroller now. You could probably completely imagine the entire game. As I said, I've played up to 5 sectors, which is quite a few worlds. There's about 6 to 7 different areas in each world. So at this point, I think I've played about half the game. It is exactly what you would expect. You go through every level, you try and find the Pikmin that are hiding throughout the level, you bring them onto your team. The red Pikmin are a little stronger and you can't throw them as far. The yellow Pikmin are a little weaker, but you can throw them super far. The rock Pikmin are badass tank Pikmin that you can throw and break things and they do a lot of damage, but again, they don't throw very far. Then you have blue Pikmin, which can go underwater. So it's all very familiar, it's all what we used to. You take their individual special abilities and you use them to collect items, solve puzzles, and defeat enemies. It's just rather than doing it from a top-down view and having a bunch of different things going on at once, you really only ever focused on one thing at a time on a side-scrolling view. That's really what it is. The biggest challenges in the game that I find is a lot of the later levels do a really good job at making it so you know there's a bunch of different paths and you can see them on your map and you can visually see that, hey, I can go over there and I can go over here right now. Well, let's try going here first, and it'll sort of trick you and you'll fall down or you'll do something you didn't expect and then you're kind of stuck in that area and you can't go back without restarting the level. And it's a way to sort of trick you into not collecting all the items, so you have to go back through if you want to try and collect everything. So you got to be really clever and really careful when it comes to making sure to collect collect everything on your first playthrough so you don't have to go back through and do it again. So that's definitely a challenge, but obviously if you want to do that and you want to complete the game 100%, you're gonna have to go back through and do them all again anyway, because part of that is getting through without having any of your Pikmin die, and that is a challenge. I try and do that every time. I hate when Pikmin die. They're so little, cute, and adorable. I don't want them to die. But in playing half the game so far and playing maybe 30 different worlds, I've only had one level where I managed to get through without all of them dying, and in my opinion, it was a particularly easy level. So if you're a perfectionist or a completionist, you're gonna have a relatively hard time, I feel, going back through, trying to find all the special items, but mostly trying to get through without any Pikmin dying and finding all the Pikmin scattered throughout the level. That's definitely gonna add a lot of replayability and a lot of time into the game. Now, something that Pikmin's always been known for is their boss battles. At least in my opinion, the boss battles are probably the best part. In previous games, they're always so creative. The bosses are nothing like any of the other enemies. They're grand scale, awesome, and you have to figure out how it is you defeat them. They all have their weaknesses, and they're usually not too hard to figure out. Sometimes they can get pretty challenging, but it's definitely the best part and probably my favorite part of the Pikmin games is being excited to get up to the boss level. Well, in this game, at the end of every world, there's a boss fight before you move on to the next world. The bosses, again, are very different. They're very big and grand scale. I'm not going to give my opinion on them because even if I was reviewing this game and not previewing this game, the boss battles being the best part and being the thing that you have to work towards, and it's like the nice reward at the end of the world, I don't want to ruin anything about it, so I'll leave it as it is. But the boss battles are definitely something that's prominent in this game, the way they're prominent in the other games. Are they as fun? You're gonna have to find out when you play it. There's also a feature called Pikmin Park. At the end of every level, you get to keep the Pikmin you saved, and they go into your Pikmin Park, where you can then delegate tasks and chores to them, and they'll go and sort of mindlessly take care of that task, sort of like in Age of Empires when you tell someone to go and chop down a tree. They'll go and do the chopping down, whatever it is, or the swimming or whatever it is, to try and find you more sparklium to power your ship. It's a cool little thing to have running in the background, and I always like every time I finish a level, I get notified that they found something, and I go and check the Pikmin Park. I love adding Pikmin to the park, the way they greet each other every time, and there's new friends in the park. I don't know, it is kind of cool to have that micromanaging aspect, because that's what I love so much about the Pikmin games is micromanaging. That's my favorite part, and the 2D side-scrolling aspect sort of completely removes that. There really is no micromanaging. So the Pikmin Park is there to satisfy that micromanaging part of me, but it's not anywhere near the micromanaging scale that was the other Pikmin games. And the last thing that I want to touch on when it comes to gameplay is the literal gameplay. How do you play the game? Well, it's one of them games that mixes in having to use the stylus and having to use some buttons. I usually don't like that because my hands start to cramp up and get sore, especially when I'm using this 3DS, because it is a little heavier than the new one. But as I said, Nintendo sent me the new one and I've been playing Pikmin on that, and this is so much lighter than that old one, so having to hold it in one hand isn't that big of a chore. Plus, you do kind of grip it a little bit when you hold it with your palm and tap it, but honestly, it is so light that holding it in one hand doesn't really matter, and you can switch hands if one does get tired. I find that after maybe about half an hour, 40 minutes of playing, I switch hands, and the cool thing is you can use this or this to move around, or you can use these to move around. So whether you want to use your right hand or your left hand, you can control Olimar in the way that he moves, and then you throw your Pikmin by touching on the screen. So most of the action happens by tapping, and then all of the moving happens depending on which hand you hold, happens on the D-pad or on the buttons. And honestly, it works really well. It would have been really easy to map everything to buttons. I mean, you think about a game like Yoshi that has a similar throwing aspect when it comes to a line of eggs rather than a line of Pikmin. Having that little like rotator thing as an option would have been really nice in this game. There definitely would have been a way to do that, but they wanted to force you to use tap because that's kind of what this game relies on. Take that as you will. If I had that option and I tried it out, I'm not sure which one I would prefer, but I definitely would have liked to have had that option available to me. The graphics are definitely appealing. It's not as bright as the previous Pikmins, and it lacks the realism of a lot of the other games, especially Pikmin 3, which in my opinion was an absolutely gorgeous looking game, especially for the Wii U. But in saying that, the 3DS and the 2DS has limits. The 3DS has always lacked the ability to produce fine, clear images, characters, and environments. But what the 3DS has always lacked in graphical capability, it's always made up for it in amazing story and fun gameplay. So I already touched on the story and how it was pretty basic. So does Hey Pikmin have really, really fun gameplay? Well, I can't say, because it's a preview and not a review. So here's what I'm gonna do. Over on my Beat 'em Ups Facebook page and the Beat 'em Ups Twitter page, when this game comes out, I'm gonna give it a little mini review. I'm gonna finish my preview with a little mini review, my score of the game and how I really feel about it, and if you should go pick it up. So make sure to follow me on that page and on Twitter, and then when this game comes out, I'll let you know exactly how I feel about it. But for now, all I'm gonna say is, I'm gonna go play a lot more of this game. I'm not gonna play it as much as I played games like Pikmin 3 or Pikmin 2, but I'm definitely gonna play it a lot. Probably more than I played Pikmin 1. Does that make sense? But that's all from me, guys. Please remember to hit like on this video, leave a comment down below with what you think of this game, how it looks so far, and if you're considering going and picking it up, be subscribed. I'd really appreciate it if you go watch my review on the new 2DS XL, which also came up today. I've never uploaded 2 videos in the same day before, and I'm a little bit worried about stretching my views pretty thin, so I'd really appreciate clicks on both if you wouldn't mind. I'd really appreciate that. It'd be a wonderful birthday present for me. It's not my birthday, but when it is. Hey, I will remember you doing this for me today, and I'll say thank you then. But you'll see me in the next video. And hey, Pikmin, I'll see you in that video too. DS. Oh god, that was stupid.